Jazz lose to the Grizzlies. A perfect night for the Jazz. A nice start for the Grizzlies. Let's talk about it. Utah, we'll talk about them in a second. Let's talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. Probably the story of this game for Grizzlies fans is the return of Ja Morant. Ja Morant comes back into this one, and he was not disappointing if you're a Memphis Grizzlies fan. Ja Morant goes 7 for 12 from the field. He missed 2 threes, but he was 8 for 9 from the free throw line. Nice to see that he's still getting to the line at a high rate, which is something that's going to be so good for him. And then look at that, 22 points, 10 assists. He looked like classic Ja Morant, and so if he can just stay in this form, he's going to be great. Just don't get in your own way, Ja Morant. No more weird videos and no more weird things, and you will be fine. So anyways, nice to see Ja Morant come back. He looks incredible. He had some big-time plays at the end of this one to close it. And this Grizzlies team is going to be really good. They didn't even have Jaren Jackson Jr. tonight, and they were able to pull out a win against a Jazz team that played really well, to be honest. So if you're a Grizzlies fan, you got to be excited. You got some nice things to look forward to. Zach Edey makes his debut, and he fouls out in less than 15 minutes. That is something to watch. He's big, and he showed some nice signs. He really gets under the skin of some players and the fans. I got to move so I'm in the middle here. But anyways, it was kind of interesting to watch Zach Edey. He does some nice things, but only 5 points, 5 rebounds because he was only on the floor for 14 minutes. He has got to figure out how to stay on the floor and not foul out. And I'm sure he will. This may have been a little bit of just, being a rookie, and that's one thing that rookies do, especially bigs, is just learning how to not foul. And they don't get the benefit of the doubt from the refs, and so that's just going to be something for him to figure out, but he'll be fine. Desmond Bane, 8 for 20 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, 24 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He's just very good. And then off the bench, you have let's see. The guy that was really interesting for them, Jay Huff, 22 minutes, 3 for 5 from 3, 13 points. He was really nice for them. I will be, I don't know how many Grizzlies games I'm going to catch this year, but I'm going to be interested to see what this lineup looks like. Because I expected Marcus Smart to come off the bench, and maybe he stays and Santi Aldama goes to the bench when Jaren Jackson Jr. plays. So that'll be interesting to see. Or does Jackson Jr. play at the center? I have a feeling Zach Edey's just going to be starting center all season because I think Jaren Jackson Jr. plays much better as kind of the weak side shot blocker, as a roamer, kind of like a Draymond Green or something like that, where he plays off of the center, which allows him to use his, super talent on the defensive end. And that's what Jaren Jackson Jr. did when he won defensive player. Didn't he win defensive player of the year? I thought he did. And it was kind of playing off the center. So I think that's what's going to be the best for him. All right, let's talk about the Jazz. Fun to have the Jazz back. The lineup that we saw in preseason was back, and it looked really good. Really good. It's just this. There's some things to like. There were some things that that didn't go well, but you know what? If you're a Utah Jazz fan, you got to be happy because you saw some great signs from every player, and you still get the loss because this Utah Jazz team needs a superstar cornerstone. And they have some nice players. Lauri Markkanen is absolutely a star, borderline all-star, and he's going to be a borderline all-star this year again. If he plays like he did tonight, he's a lock at all-star. Markkanen goes 9 for 15 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, 13 for 14 from the free throw line. He was fantastic tonight. He was aggressive, driving to the basket, just going up and scoring and just doing everything fantastic. He is just the premier off-ball player in the NBA. Was phenomenal tonight. 35 points, 2 assists, 9 rebounds, and the 14 free throws is fantastic. And I don't think anyone was complaining. He was just getting the line. He was playing tough. Nice to see. And what's really impressive about this starting unit is you got Keyonte George and Taylor Hendricks in their second seasons. They are going to get big time minutes, but the offense looked good. And it's one thing I've been noticing in preseason and now tonight. Yeah, Keyonte George had a very bad shooting night. There is no doubt about it. But, one of the things this team struggled with last year, post trading Mike Conley, was the ball moved. And Taylor Hendricks is moving the ball. Keyonte George is doing a great job moving the ball. You can see that with the 7 assists, and he should have had more. And Colin Sexton is moving the ball. So the ball is moving around when it wasn't last year. If you remember, Utah last year, post Mike Conley trade, was relying a lot on Kelly Olynyk to have some ball movement and playmaking and things like that. So for this Utah Jazz team to have and there's not like a ton of assists, but the ball is just moving and the offense just seems to flow so much better. And you can really see that in Markkanen getting 35 points on incredible efficiency. Utah has figured out with these young players how to set Markkanen up to get as many shots as he possibly can. He gets 15 field goal attempts. Obviously, it would be more, but he was going to the line. So, 7 times to the free throw line is like 7 field goal attempts, basically. So you're looking at Markkanen getting 22 field goal attempts in this one, considering the free throws. That's great. That leads the team, and that's how it should be. And so if you're a Jazz fan and you have any questions about this team and how they're developing, this is a great sign. Because what you want to do with your team is set up your best player to succeed, and that's what the Jazz are doing. This is a great sign from Will Hardy, too. You got to be happy with what you're seeing. And then on the other end, you've got your other players developing, and you're going to have nights like this with Keyonte George where the shot's not falling. But what you want to see is, are they setting up Lauri Markkanen? And they were, and it was great. This is great basketball. This is great coaching. This is a team that is executing on a plan, and it's great to see. So I'm really happy with that Markkanen's getting the ball and he's succeeding and doing well. The Jazz have set up an offense that's getting the ball moving, and it is getting the ball not just moving, but to their best player. Unlike days of yore on the Quinn Snyder teams where you had to have 40% three-point shooters and you're just trying to get the open shot, typical NBA offenses are trying to find ways to accentuate, almost said something problematic there, accentuate the best player on the team. And what's interesting about this too is Markkanen is not an on-ball player. He is an off-ball player. So the Jazz have figured out how to set up an offense with young players, Keyonte George and Taylor Hendricks in their second year, Kessler in his third, or is it his, I can't remember. I think it's his second year. No, it's his third year, duh. That is setting up a player who plays off the ball, getting him set up to succeed. That's not easy to do. This is not like a Luka Doncic situation where you just give him the ball and let him play. This is a system where you've got young players learning to develop, who are developing and learning to get the ball to Markkanen, and it's working and it's happening. So you have to be happy with that. Markkanen is a great player. And he's going to be phenomenal this year. And if he plays like this, and if this offense still sets him up like this, then you got to be excited. He's going to be an all-star if he's putting up these numbers. This is bonkers stuff. Look at this. 60, 50, 90. I mean, are you serial? Are you crazy? 50, 40, 90 is Hall of Fame level numbers, and he put up a 60, 50, 92. It's crazy stuff. Fantastic coaching from Will Hardy. Fantastic play to run the offense correctly. It's great stuff. Appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it. That is great. Now, normally I go top to bottom. I'm going to talk about Keyonte George because I think this is a big storyline we got to watch. He is the number 2 player on the team right now. The way they have him playing, he is running the offense, and the offense ran well. He took 18 shots tonight. He also had 9 free throw attempts. That is a lot of usage. And so he's going to figure that out. This is too many shots. And I don't think anyone would disagree with that. It's too many shots, and Key is going to do a lot better if he is picking and choosing a little better. There are times, though, where they are taking the ball out of Markkanen's hands, and Keyonte's figuring out how to get him the ball. There were 3 shots in that fourth quarter that were for sure he should have not taken them, for sure. But outside of 3 or 4 shots that I saw, a lot of them were within the offense, and a lot of them were shots that he typically makes. We have to have a little bit of grace for our young players. It is the second season for Keyonte George playing point guard in the NBA. Very hard to do. Second season for Taylor Hendricks, and he didn't get to play a lot of minutes with the starters last year until post-trade deadline. So you got to be pretty happy with what you're seeing. But it's going to be tough for Keyonte George at times. Got to have a little bit of grace. It's going to be frustrating. He's playing point guard, but you're going to get a lot of data this year. It's going to be a full season of seeing this, and we will know by the end of the year kind of more of what Keyonte George is. What's really exciting is that he's still getting to the line, and the 7 assists, and the fact that Lauri Markkanen is absolutely shining. Utah wins this game if Keyonte has a better shooting night, just flat out. If Jaren Jackson Jr. plays, then it's probably something different, but Keyonte George, if he hits the shots, they win this game because the offense was doing what it was supposed to. I mean, honestly, yes, Key didn't have a good shooting night, but he had the ball in his hands for a lot of the game. And him and Markkanen are getting a lot of the focal point of the defense. And so that's where a lot of this comes in. But what makes me happy is the assists and that you're seeing guys like Lauri Markkanen and Taylor Hendricks have nice shooting nights. They are getting set up for good shots. And you got to give credit to Colin Sexton, too. He has just the 3 assists, but he's also moving the ball within the offense. But he's also benefiting from Keyonte George taking that brunt of the offense. Running point guard in the NBA is really hard. And Keyonte George is going to find out that, you know what, he's got to take a lot of joy in just setting up other players, figuring out how to, instead of taking certain shots, drive and kick. Pump fake drive, set up Sexton. Pump fake drive, you don't always have to take the shot. It's okay. He's going to learn patience. And I know there are times where he's taking end of shot clock shots, and so that's just going to be something to watch. But this is a development year. That is the goal of this season. The moral of the story is development. And so to just see these types of things, yes, Key didn't shoot the ball well, but you know who did? Everyone he was setting up. Lauri Markkanen, Taylor Hendricks, Colin Sexton. And in the first half, I counted a few shots that should have either been finishes by Walker Kessler that ended up being free throws, or Colin Sexton and guys like that ended up being free throws as well. So I was really pleased with the playmaking and the running the offense. You do want to see less shots. You want to see more efficiency there, and it'll happen. Key's going to have nights where he absolutely explodes, and Key's going to have nights like this. What you want to do is not too high, not too low. Can he find consistency in the middle and have less variance? A lot of variance right now with Key. Less variance, more consistently high. It's tough. Go look at, if you want to see something interesting, go look at Mike Conley's rookie year stats, guys. Go look them up. In fact, let's just do it right now. We got all the time in the world, right? If you're here, by the way, all of you that are here, thank you so much for supporting the show. So let's go look at Mike Conley and some of the stats here. Mike Conley, rookie season, shot 42% from the field, 33% from 3. Is a struggle, but he goes up to 40% his second year, and then he's in these kind of upper mid 30% from 3 range, figuring things out. But 4.2 assists, that's kind of what Key averaged. What did Key average? Well, I guess you'd have to separate it out because Key didn't get starter minutes until post-trade deadline. So it's not apples to apples. But the moral of this is, look at these percentages. These aren't right home percentages, right? And he just kind of slowly figured it out. The 3-point percentage just got slowly better. And he just became a much more well-rounded player. It takes time to learn the point guard position in the NBA, right? And I'm not saying Keyonte George is going to be Mike Conley. They're different players. Keyonte is much more of a scorer. And I think one thing we're going to find out this year is Keyonte George might be just an absolutely electric third option on offense that can just score. Imagine if Key is not getting keyed into by the defense, or whatever you want to say, have someone like Cooper Flagg drawing that defensive attention. What does Keyonte George look like when he's being guarded by the third best defender, right? You can kind of see the vision there where he can be incredible. And then the fact that he can play point guard and that he's learning point guard this year and brings that to the table. So if the Jazz do get a superstar, Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg, then you have Keyonte George, who's having a full season of getting that development. Things get real interesting real fast. And if he can run the show when, Cooper Flagg's on the bench or whoever is on the bench, that's just great team building. So nice to see. All right, let's talk about Taylor Hendricks. I thought he was fantastic tonight, and his numbers, are just kind of quiet. But look at this: 12 points, 5 rebounds, a block shot, 2 steals, and he shot 60% from 3, 4 for 7 from the field. How awesome is that? Just great numbers. He does not turn the ball over. This is about as awesome and nice a night as you could expect. I think Taylor Hendricks is slowly just going to get better and better and better over time. One thing that I liked from this game too is that his handle looks pretty solid. Like, he can put the ball on the floor and do a few things. I don't think he's going to be Kevin Durant out there pulling up in the mid-range and stuff, but I guess never say never. What I do think that's nice is that he can knock these threes down, and he can knock them down from everywhere, and that's a big deal. But what makes me happy is that the passing has been solid. No assists tonight, but he's moving the ball. Just watch him. He's moving the ball, and he'll get 1 or 2 a game where he's throwing the ball to Kessler, or he's giving the ball to Markkanen, or things like that. And the thing is that handle's pretty nice, where at worst, I think, because he's a 3-point threat and he does have a decent handle, that if he starts knocking threes down at a high rate like this, players are going to have to run out to him. But then what happens is that he can just drive to the basket, and he's so athletic. We're going to watch Taylor Hendricks just absolutely highlight reel someone here and there, and it's going to be fun to watch. And I am here for it. And I was mentioning Cooper Flagg on Twitter tonight, and someone asked me, well, what happens if you get Cooper Flagg? Where does he fit in? Where does Taylor Hendricks and Walker Kessler fit in? If Taylor Hendricks can get more just muscle on his frame and just can become really strong, then I think you'd have to think about Taylor Hendricks being a center in the future. But the thing is Walker Kessler was awesome tonight. This was Walker Kessler's best game since some of those rookie year games. He had such a dud last year in so many games in his second season. Now to see him come out and just play so good, and he played good against Zach Edey. And, Zach Edey was like getting into fights with John Collins, which, by the way, I loved. I love how John Collins was just like, I'm not messing around with you, dude. But Walker Kessler was awesome, and he showed Zach Edey who was boss tonight. 6 for 7 from the field, 14 rebounds, 16 points, 5 blocks. That is just awesome numbers, and silencing critics like me. If Walker Kessler does this night to night, then guess what? He earns his starting role, and he is a part of the future. And that's all that we've been asking Walker Kessler to do, is just show me. Have some heart. Play with toughness. Do what we all know you can do. Do this. Why can't Walker Kessler do this night in and night out? I don't know if he's going to have these kind of numbers, but why not? 16 points is not asking a ton. And guess what? Just another example of getting set up in a nice way. Jordan Clarkson had a really nice night, 7 assists. Keyonte George, 7 assists, and he was running pick and roll with Walker Kessler and setting him up in a nice way. And by the way, Kessler was 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Really nice. Why can't Walker Kessler do this? This was the stuff we were begging for last year. He has that, 3rd overall in Rookie of the Year voting in year 1. And people were expecting this type of thing last year. Is it the leap year for Walker Kessler? Maybe. It's certainly going to make the tank a little more difficult if he's putting up this type of numbers. It's just in so many ways with Walker Kessler, it's a mental thing. Can you do this night after night? Are you up for the grind, Mr. Kessler? Can you become Walker Kessler Ranger, or are we gonna lilt like last season? Because honestly, all you need from Kessler is to do this. Do this. Let me check the chat to make sure. No, I haven't seen anyone. Guys, you're quiet tonight, but that's okay. Quiet like the critics of Walker Kessler like me, he's shutting me up. But anyways, just nice to see Walker Kessler do things on both ends of the floor. He had 5 block shots. Awesome. 14 rebounds. I'm more excited about this than this, because so much of Walker Kessler that has been frustrating is the lack of rebounding. You know, he'll get blocked shots, but he'll get like 7-8 rebounds. And you're like, how are you not getting double-digit rebounds, Walker Kessler? Well, when he's putting up 5 blocks and 14 rebounds, that's big time. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Jazz defensive numbers were really good tonight. I'm not going to look it up because I don't want to, and I'm tired. And it's 12:30 at night. But I was so impressed with Walker Kessler tonight. Everyone who online was talking about it was completely correct. This is the Walker Kessler everyone was begging for, and he was great. And this is pretty exciting too. And by the way, post-trade deadline, something happened with Kessler, but he kind of fixed his free throw shooting. He kind of had a shorter release, or at least a shorter he just kind of solidified his release at the free throw line, and he was shooting better post-trade deadline near the end of the year. I can't remember exactly. And it wasn't really falling for him in preseason. Well, it was tonight. 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Something to watch. But Walker Kessler, 80% free throw shooter, is certainly something the Jazz would be happy with. Absolutely. Colin Sexton, here's the thing. For everyone critiquing this, I just want you to look at this. Every single starter for the Jazz had a solid offensive night, and he was handling the ball, okay? So these guys were getting set up for nice shots because Key was taking the brunt. And when Key's making shots, then all of a sudden this offense is starting to look pretty darn good. And Colin Sexton absolutely took advantage of being guarded by lesser defenders tonight. 5 for 8 from the field. Let's see. Dang it. But 3 assists, a steal, and a block shot, 16 points, hyper efficiency from Colin Sexton. Really nice to see. He's an undersized shooting guard, but man, is he efficient. I don't know how good this duo is going to be long-term defensively, but man, do they show a lot of nice things offensively. And so, yeah, Utah's going to lose some games this year because of defense, but man, we saw some great things from Kessler, Taylor Hendricks as well. The Jazz are not going to be the worst defense in the league. Now, they may be 29th. We'll see. I'm excited to watch the Jazz defensive numbers. In fact, you know what? Let's see if they're up. Let's just do it. We're live. I want to see it. Let's just see. No, I don't want to. I want to do team stats. Okay, let's go here. And we're going to go and look at team stats. I want to look at all of them. Let's go to advanced and see what they got so far this season. So season stats are up, guys. The season's back, baby. All right, let's see. Defensive net rating here. Portland Trail Blazers. Is it early in the season? Yes. So this could be an overreaction. Number 1 defense in the league is the Portland Trail Blazers. Utah comes in at 16. Hey, you know where Utah was last year? Well, how in the world? New Zealand breaker. This is preseason. Well, that was preseason. Jazz had the number 16 defense in the preseason. Okay. But this is the season right now. Okay, so defensive rating for the regular season after 1.5 games, because some of these games, let's see. Yeah, 1 game for everyone. 96 for the Golden State Warriors. Interesting. Where does Utah fall? 20! Hey! That's up from 32, baby! I'll take it. I will take it. Utah moving to 20 on defense. That's improvement that we want to see. Clap your hands. The Jazz improved. Chance to shoot there we go. Oh. Someone lost 20 pounds this offseason. But anyways, number 20 for the Jazz on defensive rating. I will take it. Now, where are we offensively? Let's see. Drum roll. Drum roll. Number 7. Woo! Woo! Number 7 offense, number 20 defense. I will take it. That's too good for my liking. But all of you who said bad things, say nice things about Keyonte George point guard play. Say nice things in the comments. Say nice things. Number 7 offense. Number 20 defense. I will take it. We'll see how those evolve. But as the season goes on, I'm going to be watching that. Any of you who said not nice things about Will Hardy, you take them back. I'm giving myself the hiccups. When I get too angry or too excited, I get the hiccups. But I don't care. You take it back. You take that back. All right. I'm excited about that starting unit, and I'm excited. I got the hiccups. I gave myself the hiccups. But anyways, shout out Lauri Markkanen tonight. He was awesome. He might be too awesome. I got too excited. I got the hiccups. Doggone it. Is this what happens when you're 41? Is this what freaking happens? Diego Figueroa, welcome to Rookie, baby. Welcome to Rookie. All right, let's talk about the Jazz second unit. Bryce Sensabaugh got 12 minutes tonight. I was surprised and pleased. Dang it. I can't believe it. All right, 2 rebounds. But you know what I noticed with Sensabaugh? He had 2 steals. He's a good steals guy. He gets his hands on balls, baby. Hey, Diego jumped on to say nice things about Keith. Thank you, my man. Dang it. But anyways, 1 for 2. I'm trying to find good things to say about Bryce Sensabaugh, and that is the good thing tonight about Sensabaugh. He's a good steals guy. Hiccups. Team leading 2 steals, by the way, Sensabaugh. So that's something that's interesting. I'm trying to hope for things to... Dang it. How many times do you get the hiccups midstream? But anyway, Sensabaugh 1 for 2 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, or 2 rebounds, 2 steals, minus 12. I don't know. But I'm trying to find nice things, and he does get his hands on basketballs. So that's nice to see. All right, Jordan Clarkson took 16 shots. Jordan Clarkson did Jordan Clarkson things, but what made me happy was these 7 assists. And some of them were dimes, like real nice dimes. And so I was happy to see that. 1 block shot for Jordan Clarkson. I'd say he played well tonight. 17 points, 7 for 16, 2 for 5 from 3. Very solid. So you got to appreciate the good nights from Jordan Clarkson, because there's going to be nights where he's going to shoot not very well. But tonight he did, and so that's nice to see. John Collins, you know what? I love John Collins. I love the leadership. I love the toughness. Gosh dang it! They are not going to leave me till after. That sucks. But anyways, John Collins was nice tonight in some ways, mostly just for leadership, and that he wasn't going to back down. By the way, that elbow from Edey, where he just literally raked his arm across John Collins' face, that was Bush League. I am very excited, and this is going to happen because Edey's doing things, and I know we're all pro Gobert. I mean, there's my Gobert bobbleheads. I am pro Gobert, but I am honest. Gobert does things that piss you off if you're on the opposing team. He just does dirty little things. And Edey does the same thing. And at some point, Rudy Gobert is not going to be in this league. I think Zach Edey's going to be in this league for a long time. And he is officially going to be the guy that everyone wants to dunk on, because he's like 7'4" or whatever he is. He is huge. And so he is the guy that the Anthony Edwards, if Ja Morant was not on the same team as Zach Edey, I promise you Ja Morant would want to dunk on his head. Because and that's something that if you're a Grizzlies fan, you got to be happy with. He plays with a lot of like fire. He plays with intensity and fire. And he'll piss you off. And he pissed me off. And he pissed off John Collins. And John Collins and him were going at it all night, and I loved it. But one thing I'm excited to see is the big dunkers of the league are going to try to just absolutely cram it on top of Zach Edey. And I am going to enjoy every single time in honor of John Collins. Remember John Collins. Remember him and his toughness, because it matters. But he's also undersized, and it's just hard for John Collins. But he does seem to be much more fit to be a center in the league. He's just overpaid, but he's a good player. He's just overpaid. If John Collins was making $5 million a year and coming off the bench, would people have a problem with John Collins? No, they would not. It is just that he makes too much money. But that's okay. Utah had to pay somebody, and he's on the team, and he's got great leadership, and he shoots the ball, and he allows the Jazz to play a 5-out system. So I like John Collins. Does he have flaws? Absolutely. But there's a lot of players on this team that have flaws right now. Cody Williams is going to be a nice player. I know the numbers aren't gaudy at all. It looks like they didn't give him a single field goal attempt. But defensively, he's showing that he's going to be nice. I think Cody Williams is going to be nice for the Jazz for a long time. We'll see how he develops. I'm not going to really judge much, but from the things that I'm noticing are on the defensive end, and he does make nice moves. He does make the right play on offense. I don't know if this is a bug or what. I swear he took a shot and got blocked. So this is the NBA.com site being broken, maybe. But anyways, yeah, because I don't know if these numbers are right too for Patty Mills. This seems broken. Fix your site, NBA. Man, these are the worst hiccups I've had in a long time. Man. I can't even swallow. Am I dying live on stream? But anyways, Drew Eubanks didn't get into the game. We didn't see Filipowski. Utah has played Filipowski as a 4, so I don't know if we're ever going to see him. But it was a nice night, and Utah is okay with players developing, and you can bet Utah is okay with losing. Absolutely. That is the moral of the story. And so this was just kind of a perfect night for Jazz fans. You got to see really great flashes. You can see that these players are emulating what Will Hardy does. Will Hardy's freaking good. He is really, really good. And Will Hardy knows how good Cooper Flagg is because he coached him with Team USA. No one knows better, at least in the NBA, than Will Hardy. So you can bet Utah wants him. And there's just something that makes me think he's coming to the Jazz. And maybe my heart's going to be broken. But I just have a feeling, guys. I just have a feeling. And the thing is if you had a superstar like Bailey or Flagg on this team, watch how quickly this team becomes really good, really fast. Like really good, really fast. And you know what? Minnesota lost to the Lakers. What if Minnesota has the year from hell? Right? What if they just become just like, I don't know. Get the voodoo dolls out, guys. Get the voodoo dolls out. Give the hiccups to the Minnesota Timberwolves every single time they play. Just give them these hiccups. Give them to them. By the way, what's the cure for the hiccups? It's like blowing all the air out your lungs and then trying to let's do it. And then you talk like this for a minute. And that's supposed to get rid of the hiccups. All right, so that's that for tonight, guys. Really fun game. I didn't get to watch this one live tonight. Normally, I would be on the playback, so we'll have the playback. Nope, hiccups are still there. Playback will be next time, so if you want to watch live with me, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel, or go to the SLC Dunk playback, and you can watch it live with me there. But let's see. Let's start the music, baby. It's time to do our Tankathon, and then we are going to give a shout out to the All-Stars. All right, guys, what a fun night. I had a blast watching that game. Things went perfectly. Oh, wait, we're not here. We're here. Look at this, guys. Look at this. What I like seeing is that right there. Could you imagine if the Jazz get the number 11 pick from Minnesota? That would be remarkable. So Utah is now at 5. Pretty darn happy. Not splitting odds for tied teams until they've played 10 plus games. Okay, so the Tankathon guys are being fair, I guess. I don't know. All right, if the lottery was today, who would win? Yeah! All right! Utah gets the number 3, which gets them Dylan Harper, baby. I tell you what, you put Dylan Harper in that Colin Sexton role, you get the defense and the scoring. Boom, baby. That's some nice basketball, I tell you what. That would make me so happy. So I got to record that average for the year. That ups our average draw. Well, I guess since it's the season, maybe we just count the regular season. But that is number 3 for regular season. I like it. Average landing spot number 3 to start the regular season. All right, let's go to our All-Stars. Let's give a shout out to baby Elliot Matson, Dirty Jazz Car Wash Channel, see ya, Lex Slater, Ryan Perry the Legend, Christian House Money to Haas, the Outlaw Jesse James Nelson, Jordan the Goat Besserell, Austin R. Ray, Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5, and Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Guys, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're an NBA fan, but especially if you're a Jazz fan. And if you're a Jazz fan and you haven't liked and subscribed already, what are you doing? This is the best Utah Jazz YouTube channel, podcast, whatever this is, out there. We do every game. We talk about every facet of everything. I'm trying to do videos every night. That's the goal. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. All right, guys, I'll talk to you next time.